At my son's birthday party, my sister smashed his face into the cake after I told her 3 times not to. She called it just a joke, so I made sure she became one. At her own wedding, my hands are still shaking. It's been 2 weeks and I still can't believe she did that to him. To my son, at his own birthday party. We'd rented out this little local place with an indoor playground and a party room. You know the type: ball pits, slides, pizza that tastes like cardboard, but kids think it's Michelin starred. My son, Nathan, he just turned 6, had been counting down the days for a month. It was all dinosaurs this year. Dino plates, dino cake, even a Jurassic Park bouncy house in the back. His smile that morning? Man, I haven't seen that kind of joy on his face since before the divorce. And then my sister ruined everything. Stephanie, 33 female, is, how do I even start? She's the kind of person who needs every room to orbit her. She's not evil, not in the textbook sense, but she's exhausting. Loud, performative, always looking for a moment. If you've got news, she's got a story to top it. If someone else is laughing, she's shouting over them with a joke that's not even funny, just louder. But the worst thing? She hides behind that word, joke, like it's a bulletproof vest. Doesn't matter who gets hurt, she'll just laugh and say, God, lighten up. I've spent years excusing it. That's just Steph. She means well. She doesn't know her limits. But this time, her joke was smashing my son's face into his birthday cake, after I told her not to, 3 separate times. See, last year she did it to my nephew, her own kid. I watched him start sobbing while she and a few drunk friends laughed their asses off, filming it for Instagram. And I remember thinking, if she ever does that to Nathan, I'll lose it. So this year, I was clear. Told her twice on the phone. No cake smashes. Told her again in person right before we brought the cake out. I even made her look me in the eye. Steph, I'm serious. Nathan's not into surprises. Don't do anything. Let him have his moment. She raised both hands and went, sheesh. Okay. Chill. I'm not a monster. And for 30 seconds, I believed her. Then we sang happy birthday. Brought out the cake. A volcano cake with red icing lava, Nathan picked himself. And as he leaned in to blow out the candles, wham! She shoved his head into it. Hard. The room went dead silent. My kid popped up with frosting all over his face. Nose bleeding because she'd smashed him into one of the stupid plastic dinos on top. He looked confused, then embarrassed. Then the crying started. Not loud, tantrum crying. That quiet, gasping kind that rips through your chest because you know it's not just about pain. It's about humiliation. Stephanie started laughing. Oh my God, it's just a joke. Come on, it's tradition. And something in me snapped. I picked up a stack of plates and slammed them down so hard the table shook. What the hell is wrong with you? She blinked at me like I'd kicked a puppy. Dude, relax. But I wasn't relaxing. I wasn't laughing. I was picking up my sobbing son and carrying him out of that room while she stood there, arms crossed, muttering that I was being extra. That was the moment I decided I'm going to ruin her wedding. And she's going to wish she'd never laid a hand on my kid. Stephanie's wedding was 6 weeks out at that point, and I knew I wouldn't need 6 to break her. See, what she doesn't know, and what most people don't, is that I remember everything. I'm not saying that to sound dramatic. I mean, literally, my memory is freakish. I don't forget dates, faces, conversations. It's like having a mental filing cabinet. And Steph, she's given me more than enough material over the years. All I had to do was open the drawers. But first, I had to sit with what she did. Nathan didn't want to finish his party. He didn't want cake, didn't want to open presents. Just curled up on the couch at home with his head in my lap, asking if he messed up the party. That gutted me. 6 years old and already wondering if he's the problem, not the adult who humiliated him. The next morning, his nose was still swollen and he didn't want to go to school. Said the other kids might laugh. I could have screamed. I didn't block Stephanie. I wanted her to see every photo I posted of Nathan smiling again. Not at that party, but the day after, when I baked him a new cake and we had a do-over. Just the two of us. She left one comment. Cute. Didn't realize we were throwing pity parties now. I didn't respond. I just took a screenshot. Like I said, filing cabinet. The thing with Steph is she doesn't know how to shut up. She's loud online, too. Every fight she's ever had with her fiancé Kyle, every drunken girls' night, every work meltdown. It's somewhere on her socials, including the time she half-joked that she might not be able to wear white because, quote, half the groomsmen could blackmail me. She deleted that tweet, but not before it got screenshotted by yours truly. She'd been bragging about how their wedding was going to be classy, elegant, grown up, now that she was finally settling down. I almost laughed. Her version of settling down meant taking Kyle back after he cheated, again, because she didn't want to start over. Romantic, right? But Kyle? He's not my target. Not yet. See, I started laying the groundwork slow, liking some of her old tweets, the messy ones, the ones that would make any future mother-in-law raise an eyebrow. Then I reached out to Laura. Laura, 32 female, used to be Steph's best friend. They had a falling out 2 years ago. Steph hooked up with Laura's ex accidentally at a bachelorette party. Classic Steph move. I never took sides publicly, but Laura and I stayed cool. She loved Nathan like her own, so I messaged her. Just said, "Hey, I'm planning something. You in?" She replied, "Absolutely. What's the target?" I knew then that I wasn't the only one Steph had burned. We made a list, not of what she'd done, but who she'd done it to. Her old roommate who she got evicted for a party. Her co-worker she blamed for stealing office supplies. Her ex who she keyed his car, then told people he was abusive. Her childhood best friend she outed in high school because she thought it was funny. Stephanie left a trail of broken people behind her. She just didn't think any of them mattered, because for her, nothing ever sticks. Until now. Because I wasn't just going to get even. I was going to build her downfall out of every person she stepped on to feel taller. And her wedding? That was going to be the stage. Getting revenge on someone like Stephanie isn't about going nuclear right away. It's about erosion. Quiet, slow, precise. Like a termite in the foundation. By the time they notice, it's already collapsing. So I started with the invitations. Steph had this big, flowery wedding website where you could RSVP, pick meal options, even see the dress code, garden formal, which is not a real thing, by the way. I noticed she listed everyone, including people she hadn't spoken to in years, including Laura. I told Laura to RSVP yes. Then I called Trevor. Trevor, 35 male, dated Stephanie briefly about 4 years ago. She dumped him in the messiest way imaginable, cheated, then ghosted him while he was recovering from surgery. Real classy stuff. Trevor's a graphic designer now, pretty chill dude, and still very bitter. When I asked if he wanted to be my date to the wedding, he actually spit out his drink laughing. "Wait, to Stephanie's wedding? After what she did to your kid?" I grinned. "Exactly. Oh, I'm in. Should I bring receipts?" "Yes, Trevor. Yes, you should." Meanwhile, Stephanie was busy posting Instagram countdowns like 40 days till I'm Mrs. Louvre with a champagne emoji. Every post was this curated, overly filtered shrine to her perfect relationship. But behind the scenes, Laura was feeding me screenshots of Stephanie still messaging other guys. Flirty stuff, some not so flirty. One was literally her asking a guy, "If you crash a wedding, do you have to bring a gift or just drama?" Classy. So we gathered our ammo. I had a group chat of 8 people by now, each with a reason to hate her, each holding a grudge she forgot she created. I called us the fire pit, because when the time came, we were going to burn it all down. But here's where it got really messed up. One night, about 3 weeks before the wedding, Stephanie showed up at my place. No warning, just knocked on my door while I was reading with Nathan. "Hey, can we talk?" she said, already stepping inside without waiting. I looked at her, really looked. Her makeup was perfect. Her nails were fresh, but there was this frantic energy under the surface, like she couldn't sit still. Nathan flinched when he saw her. She didn't notice. "I just wanted to clear the air," she said, waving her hands like that would erase the trauma. "I didn't mean to hurt him, okay? It was just a silly thing. Everyone's acting like I committed war crimes." "He bled, Steph," I said quietly. "He cried. He still hasn't touched cake since." She rolled her eyes. "Kids are dramatic. He'll get over it." And right there, in that moment, I knew she didn't feel bad. Not even a little. She wasn't sorry. She just didn't want the blowback. She started rambling about how her mother-in-law had heard about some drama, and Kyle was asking questions, and she needed me to stop making her look bad. I didn't say anything. I just stared at her until she got uncomfortable. Then she said it. "You're really gonna hold a grudge over a cake? Like, grow up?" And I smiled. "Okay," I said. "I'll grow up." She blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" "You'll see." And I walked her to the door. She left fuming. And 2 hours later, I got a text from Kyle. It said, "Hey man, can we talk?" Turns out the cracks were already forming. Kyle had his own doubts. I just gave him the match. Kyle, 34 male, is the kind of guy who tries way too hard to seem easygoing. Always with a beer in hand, always saying "no worries, bro," even when clearly sweating through his shirt. But that night, he didn't text like a chill guy. He texted like a man who just found a live grenade in his sock drawer. We met at a bar the next night. Neutral ground. I left Nathan with my neighbor and showed up 10 minutes early because I wanted to watch him walk in. When he did, the man looked like he hadn't slept. Shirt wrinkled, wedding band absent, red flag city. He slid into the booth across from me, didn't even order a drink, just said, "Be honest, is she cheating?" I could have lied, played coy, but I just looked him dead in the eye and said, "Probably." He let out this sharp breath, like I'd confirmed a tumor. "Who?" he asked. "I don't have names, just patterns. She flirts. She lies. She says it's jokes, but you know how she is." He nodded slowly. Didn't argue. That told me everything I needed to know. He was quiet for a while. Then, "She told me your kid attacked her. Said that's why you're angry." I almost laughed. "Nathan? He's 6 and terrified of her." I figured. Just had to hear it from someone else. We sat in silence a moment longer. Then he said something I wasn't ready for. I'm not sure I want to marry her. I blinked. Then why are you? Because everything's booked. Deposits are paid. My family's flying in from Michigan. My mom adores her. She has this way of making people think she's exactly what they want. That hit too close to home. He finished his drink in one long pull, then looked at me like he was weighing something. If you were gonna do something, like really do something, should I stop you? I smiled. If I do anything, it's because she earned it. He nodded. Didn't ask what. Didn't want to know. 2 nights later, Stephanie posted a long Instagram caption under a picture of her, holding Kyle's hand on a bridge. Something about soulmates and forgiveness. Laura sent me a screenshot with the caption, "She's spiraling." Then, the next morning, Laura texted, "She moved the wedding up 2 weeks from today." That was panic, not planning. She was losing control, and that's when I knew it was time to strike. Our group chat, the fire pit, went into motion. Everyone had a role. Trevor was printing out screenshots. Not just messages, but old party photos Stephanie posted publicly and later deleted. Stuff you wouldn't want your new in-laws seeing. Laura was handling the guest list. She knew which bridesmaids secretly hated her and would flip if pushed. I had something special planned for the reception. But the real dagger came from a woman named Mara. Mara used to work with Steph. Fired after Stephanie accused her of stealing money during a company retreat. Turns out the missing cash was in Stephanie's purse the whole time. She never apologized. Mara showed up in my DMS like a ghost from the past. "I heard what you're doing. Let me help." So now I had someone with access to the wedding planner. And the planner? Let's just say she wasn't thrilled with Stephanie's attitude either. By the time the wedding weekend rolled around, the fire pit had planted enough landmines to turn the event into a minefield. And Stephanie? She walked into it like it was her runway. Smiling, perfect hair, floating in her own delusion. She had no idea what was coming. Update 1. Okay, I wasn't expecting this much attention. Holy hell. First off, thank you to everyone who reached out with support, fire emojis, or just plain burn it down energy. Some of y'all had me howling. Shout out to the commenter who said, "Cake-smashing aunties belong in the 7th circle of hell," right next to people who put pineapple on pizza and slow walkers. You get it? Also, for the record, I did see the handful of "but it's just a prank" defenders. To those folks, would you like a stranger to smash your face into a cake in front of 30 people while bleeding from the nose and peeing your Paw Patrol pants from humiliation? No? Cool. Let's keep moving. Now, the wedding. I've never been so calm and so hyped in my life. Think like that scene in a heist movie where everyone's dressed in black, nodding silently before the chaos starts. Except I was in a tie, holding a wedding card and pretending I didn't want to light the whole venue on fire. Stephanie looked radiant. Because of course she did. Always been good at appearances. Flowing dress, white roses, fake humility dripping off her like cheap perfume. Kyle looked hollow. That's the only word I have, like he'd already mentally moved out of the relationship and was waiting for the physical paperwork to catch up. The ceremony was uneventful. Until they got to the "any objections" part. No one spoke. That wasn't the plan. The plan was after. Reception. Picture this. Big country club venue, open bar, dance floor, speeches, champagne, classic stuff. Stephanie's basking in the glow of wifehood. Her mom's crying. Kyle's best man says something vaguely sexist and gets chuckles from the dads. Then it's her turn. Stephanie takes the mic, gives a speech about forgiveness, growth, and second chances. Literally name drops the birthday party and says, "Even the best of us make mistakes." I almost choked on my drink. That's when Laura stood up. "Funny," she says, clear as day. "I don't remember you apologizing for sleeping with my ex and blaming it on champagne." Everyone freezes. Stephanie blinks. Smiles that tight, pageant smile. "Laura, not the time?" But Laura's not done. "Oh no, please continue your TED Talk. Or should I read the messages you sent last week to Dylan?" Dylan equals Laura's ex. Gasps. Stephanie panics, tries to laugh it off. Laura's had a little too much. Then Trevor stands up, holding a manila envelope. He doesn't say anything, just walks up to the wedding slideshow laptop and plugs in a flash drive. The screen goes black. Then, screenshots, messages, DMS selfies. Stephanie being Stephanie, flirting, trash-talking Kyle's family, trash-talking Kyle. Texts where she literally said, "This wedding is a box I need to check so people stop asking me when I'm getting married." The room imploded. Kyle stood up mid-speech, took one look at the screen, one look at her, and walked out. Didn't say a word, just left his own wedding. Stephanie chased after him in her heels, tripping, screaming, full meltdown. The audio guy hadn't turned off her mic yet, so the whole room heard her yell, "This is your fault," at someone. Probably me. Definitely me. People started awkwardly leaving, parents covering their kids' ears, bridesmaids texting each other mid-exit. One of them fist-bumped Laura on the way out. And me? I just sat there, sipped my champagne, and waited for the call. It came 3 hours later, blocked number. Screaming, crying, threats. I didn't answer. I just smiled and watched Nathan fall asleep on the couch next to me. Happy, safe, still not eating cake, but he will again. One day, Stephanie didn't go quiet. Of course she didn't. The very next day, she turned her Instagram account private and posted a black square with the caption, "When people betray you, you find out who your real friends are." No explanation. No comments allowed. Just vague drama bait. By the end of that week, she'd lost her job. Yeah. Turns out when you're a PR rep who goes viral not for brand excellence but for having your wedding turned into an expose of lies, infidelity, and general narcissism, your clients bail fast. One of the groomsmen even leaked part of the reception video to TikTok. It hit 2.3 million views before Stephanie figured out how to report it. Caption was, "She smashed a kid's face into cake. Karma smashed her marriage." I couldn't have scripted it better, but here's where it got interesting. Kyle didn't go back to her. He didn't post anything, didn't rant or defend himself. He just ghosted her, packed a bag, left the state, blocked her on everything. His sister, who I'm now semi-friends with because irony is delicious, said he moved in with a buddy in Arizona and started therapy. Apparently, finding out your fiancé planned to use your last name like a LinkedIn upgrade is motivating. Stephanie tried every move in the book, showed up at his work crying, DM'd his family, sent flowers to his ex. She even created a fake Instagram account pretending to be someone named Maria and posted comments about how Kyle was abusive and controlling. That backfired within hours when someone reverse image searched the profile pic and found it was a Russian fitness model. She was unraveling, which naturally meant she came after me. I got a letter in the mail, not a text, not a voicemail, an actual handwritten letter, like she was auditioning for some Victorian breakup drama. It started with, "I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life," and ended with, "Tell Nathan he doesn't get to see his aunt anymore. Actions have consequences." I read it once, then again. Then I set it on fire in my sink and went to make pancakes for Nathan. But I wasn't done, because Stephanie didn't just ruin Nathan's birthday. She weaponized it, tried to erase it, rewrite the story so that she could keep her Instagram-ready reputation while my kid went to bed feeling like he did something wrong. So I gave her a reminder. Nathan had drawn a picture the week after the party, him with a sad face and a broken volcano cake. I took that drawing, scanned it, and had it printed onto 50 custom thank you cards. The front said, "Thank you for coming to my party. I'm sorry my cake got ruined." I sent one to every guest, with a note on the back. Stephanie said it was just a joke. We didn't laugh. I even sent one to her ex-boss. He called me, said he'd never seen something so brutal in such polite packaging. But it wasn't about brutality, it was about truth and protecting my son. Because the next time someone says, "It was just a joke," Nathan will know he's allowed to say, "It wasn't funny." If you thought Stephanie would take the L quietly, you haven't been paying attention. A week after I mailed out Nathan's thank you cards, she pulled a stunt so deranged, I half expected a camera crew to jump out yelling, "You've been punked." But no, just Stephanie being Stephanie. It was a Saturday. Nathan and I were at the park, same one where he likes to ride his scooter and chase pigeons like they owe him money. I'm sitting on a bench, sipping coffee, finally breathing again, when I hear her voice. High, syrupy, and fake as hell. "Hey, birthday boy." I turned around, and there she was, dressed like she was attending a baby shower, carrying a bakery box like some Hallmark redemption arc. Nathan froze. She crouched, tried to hug him. He stepped back, didn't say a word, just looked at me, eyes wide. I stepped between them. "What are you doing here?" She had this tight smile on her face, like she'd practiced it in the mirror. "I just wanted to apologize. I brought cupcakes, his favorites, vanilla with blue frosting. Nathan doesn't even like vanilla." She's never remembered that. "Apologize?" I said. "Like how you apologized in front of 80 people at your wedding?" "Oh wait," she bristled. "That wasn't the time. And this is? It's public. I figured you wouldn't want to make a scene." Cue the irony siren. Because she made the scene. Nathan started tugging my hand. "Dad, can we go?" Stephanie reached out to touch his shoulder, and that's when I lost it. "Don't. You. Touch him." She backed up like I'd slapped her. Then the crocodile tears started. Loudly, dramatically. "Oh my God, I'm trying to make amends and you're treating me like a criminal." People started turning their heads. Moms froze mid-push on swings. A couple with a stroller paused. One guy actually said, "Lady, maybe take it down a notch." She doubled down. "He's turning my family against me. He's brainwashing my nephew. This is harassment." And that's when she pulled out her phone. "I'm calling the police. You're threatening me. I have witnesses." I almost laughed. "You want to call the cops to a park you showed up at, uninvited, with cupcakes no one asked for, trying to hug a child who literally backed away from you?" She started dialing anyway. So I did too. I called Laura. Laura, who had every receipt from the wedding fallout, every text, every message, even the time-stamped venue audio where Stephanie called my son a spoiled little crier right after humiliating him. Laura was at the park in 10 minutes flat, holding a manila folder like it was holy scripture. By the time the cops showed up, yes, they came, Stephanie was in full meltdown mode, shouting about defamation and kidnapping and alienation of affection, which isn't even a real charge in this state. The officers separated us. Talked to Nathan. He was calm. Told them exactly what happened. One of the cops leaned down and asked, "Do you feel safe with your aunt?" Nathan said, "She pushed my face in a cake." That was it. Stephanie got a verbal warning for causing a public disturbance, was told to leave the park or face a citation. She screamed, called the cop a glorified rent-a-cop. He smiled and said, "Have a nice day, ma'am." She left, sobbing. Cupcake box still unopened, blue frosting melting in the sun. I gave one to Nathan. He looked at it, thought for a second, then handed it to a little girl on a swing. "I don't want it," he said. "I want pizza. That's my kid." Update 2. Whew. Okay, I didn't think I'd be back so soon. But y'all, I don't even know how to explain what just happened without sounding like a screenwriter with a Red Bull addiction. First off, shout out to the user who commented, "This woman needs an exorcism, not a wedding." Still laughing. And to the dozens of you who said, "Watch her blame you for losing her job." Congrats, you win the cursed prize. Because guess who's been calling my old boss, leaving reviews under fake names, and messaging parents at Nathan's school claiming I'm emotionally unstable? Yup, Stephanie. She's spiraling like a dollar store Catherine wheel. And the worst part? People are starting to notice. Which brings me to the real reason for this update. Her own mother turned on her. Now, if you knew our family, you'd understand how biblical that is. My mom has defended Stephanie through every mess. When she got caught shoplifting in college, mom blamed the store. When she cheated on her SATs, it was the stress. When she accidentally outed a classmate in high school, it was just a misunderstanding. She's built a shrine of excuses around Stephanie her whole life. But this time, she found her own breaking point. It started when Stephanie showed up at my mom's house uninvited, sobbing, screaming, full soap opera mode. I wasn't there, but I got the play-by-play from my mom herself. She was yelling about conspiracies, mom told me over the phone. Said you were running some revenge cult. Something about a fire pit group? I choked on my coffee. She said Kyle's family is trying to sue her for fraud and that it's your fault. I waited. Then she said the sentence I never thought I'd hear from my mother. "I think something's really wrong with her." That's when she asked if she could see Nathan. Let me say that again. My mother, who once said Nathan was too sensitive and needed toughening up, now wanted to spend time with him. Just the two of them. After what she did to him, mom said, voice shaking, "I want him to know at least one adult in this family still shows up." I didn't cry, but damn, I wanted to. Then came the cherry on top. Mom told Stephanie not to come to Thanksgiving this year, or Christmas, or anything, until she got help. Stephanie, in response, smashed a wine glass in the driveway and drove off blasting Alanis Morissette like she was in a 1998 breakup montage. She's been radio silent since. No more DMS, no more tantrums. But that's the thing with people like her. They go quiet right before they do something really stupid. And call me crazy, but I've got this feeling in my gut. She's not done. Not even close. I thought maybe she'd finally hit rock bottom. After being publicly humiliated, ghosted by her almost husband, cut off by our mother, and eviscerated by a bunch of people she once treated like set dressing in the Stephanie show, you'd think, surely she'd sit with herself for once. Reflect. Grow. Therapy, maybe? But no. Stephanie doesn't do rock bottom. She just starts digging sideways. It was a Thursday, 2 weeks after the wedding disaster. I just picked Nathan up from school. He was talking about a new drawing he made. Aliens with swords fighting a robot T-Rex. Classic 6-year-old chaos. We were halfway home when I saw something in my mailbox. A yellow envelope, no return address. Inside, a stack of flyers. Flyers, printed on glossy paper like they came from some weird neighborhood vigilante group. On them was a photo of me, pulled from Facebook, and underneath, "Would you trust this man around your child?" In big, bold letters, bullet points underneath included emotionally unstable, retaliatory tendencies, and my favorite, known to associate with online hate groups. She made a smear campaign about me. Nathan asked, "Why is your face on a paper?" And I swear to God I almost threw up on the dashboard. I checked with my neighbor. Yes, she'd gotten one. She thought it was a scam. Another neighbor had tossed it straight in the trash. But a few moms from Nathan's school, they saw it. They believed it. I got 2 emails that week from parents asking if everything was okay at home. One even suggested Nathan might benefit from counseling after the party incident, as if he was the problem. I was shaking. Full body fury. So I did what I should have done weeks ago. I called a lawyer, then I called the school, then I called Kyle. Because remember when I said Kyle moved away quietly? Turns out he wasn't just lying low. He was building a case against Stephanie. See, she never officially canceled the wedding with the venue, or the photographer, or the rental company. She also never refunded any of the cash gifts from Kyle's side of the family, even after the wedding was a no-show. That's fraud. Add the flyers, the harassment, the fake social media accounts, the scene at the park. The man has a folder the size of a goddamn phone book. We met at a Starbucks, sat down, compared notes, and by the end of that coffee, we were two co-defendants preparing for war. I'm done trying to fix her, Kyle said. Now I'm just trying to stop the bleeding. Stephanie's going to be served. Restraining orders, civil damages, potential criminal charges if she keeps escalating. I don't want to destroy her. I really don't. But she's hell-bent on doing it herself. I'm just tired of holding the safety net. Nathan deserves better than this chaos orbiting his life. He deserves a family that doesn't treat pain like punchlines, and I'll walk through fire to give him that. So yeah, she came for my kid, she turned his birthday into trauma, and then she tried to turn me into a villain. But the thing about villains? They need an audience. And Stephanie? She's finally running out of people willing to watch. The final nail came in the form of a voicemail. Blocked number, 3 minutes long. Her voice, raw. Not the usual theatrical sobs or fake hiccups. This was lower, breathier. The sound of someone unraveling. You don't understand what you've done, she said. You've turned everyone against me. My job's gone. Kyle's gone. My mom thinks I need help, like actual help. And you? You're sitting there acting like some hero, like you didn't destroy me on purpose. She paused, then whispered, I was just trying to be funny. That part stuck with me. She really believed that. Deep down, even after the weddings and the park scene and the flyers and the lawsuits looming like thunderheads, she still thought this all started because of a joke. But it didn't. It started with a little boy's birthday, with his face smashed into a cake he picked out himself, with blood on his nose and tears in his eyes while grown adults laughed, and then being told that he needed to lighten up. You don't come back from that with a box of cupcakes and a shaky apology. You don't gaslight a kid, call it humor, and expect the world to clap. I played that voicemail once, then deleted it, because the truth is, she's not part of our lives anymore. Not really. Kyle moved forward with his case. She's been formally served. The wedding vendors are all pursuing her for breach of contract. Kyle's mom is pressing charges over the stolen gifts. I've got a restraining order in place now, not just for me, but for Nathan too. And Nathan? He's doing better. He asked me last week if we could have a new birthday next year. Like a do-over, but just us and maybe a few friends. No grown-ups trying to be silly. I said yes. We started planning already. He wants a space wizard theme. I have no idea what that means, but I'm buying glitter and cardboard and learning how to make lightsabers out of pool noodles. I don't know if Stephanie will ever change. I don't expect her to. Some people can't tell the difference between attention and affection, between spotlight and love. She spent her whole life being the loudest in the room and never realized that volume doesn't equal value. But me? I learned that silence can be powerful, like the silence in our house now. Peaceful, safe, full of giggles and Nerf darts instead of screaming and excuses. Like the silence that falls when a lie collapses under its own weight. Like the silence that follows real consequences. And you know what? Nathan finally asked for cake again. He wanted chocolate this time. Said he's ready. We lit the candle together. Just one. He blew it out, looked up at me and said, "This one's just for me, right?" "Yeah, buddy. Always."